Morning. Today I'm just going to list off what I consider a number of Donald Trump's accomplishments for, about the first 500 days or so of his presidency. Um, I think it's a lot when you add it all up, but here I go. I'll make it quick. Let's see. He signed three executive actions reviving the action on the Keystone XL and the Dakota Pipeline. They abandoned construction during Obama's presidency. He initiated historic talks with North Korea to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. He signed the historic Tax Cuts and Jobs Act into law. So he cut taxes for pretty much everybody, and businesses. He signed the Right to Try Act, so it's helping people who with terminal illnesses try out experimental medication to save their lives. Let's see. Keep looking at my list. Okay, brokered negotiations and it brought home, about 17 Americans who were held hostage or in prison, in foreign countries. He fulfilled the campaign pledge to withdraw the U.S. government from Obama's pending unfair trade deal. That's the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He prioritized job training and workforce development, to help people get jobs. Remember when he was talking about the apprenticeship? He confirmed the Associate Justice Neil Gorsuch to Supreme Court. I'm sure y'all forgot about that, but he's a very constitutional law type of judge. He remade the American judiciary by appointing 22 so far federal judges. So that's more than any other president in their first year. That's with all the resistance against him, that's pretty amazing he was able to do that. Let's see, he put Iran on notice. So he was, by sanctioning 25 entities and individuals involved in Iran's ballistic missile program. So, as you already know, Iranians are pretty pissed off about that. He successfully repealed the penalty for Obamacare's individual mandate. You know how burdensome that is. You have to pay to not have health insurance. That's bad. He imposed a 5-year lobbying ban for the White House officials and a lifetime ban for lobbying on foreign governments. So, surprise. Aren't you amazed of all the things you're not even hearing about? That's why I'm here to tell you. Because these things are accomplishments. That's a big thing to me. Lobbying, people talk about how bad lobbying is. Well, there you go. Donald Trump, did something about it. He ordered the Department of Justice to prosecute 100% of illegal immigrants who have a criminal conviction. He stopped United States taxpayers from funding abortions internationally. He enacted, and why would we do that? Why would we pay for other countries? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if they want to do it, that's fine. They're their own country. Let's see. He stopped the United States taxpayers for funding abortions. I already said that. Whoops. He enacted a United States-Canada Council for Advancement of Women entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm pretty big on the whole free will thing. So if a woman wants to, do what she wants to do, then she can do it. I don't see her hurting anybody or killing anybody. She's just making a living. Advance fair reciprocal trade that protects American workers and industry. Went above and beyond on its promise to eliminate regulations at a 2-to-1 ratio by issuing 22 deregulatory actions for every new regulatory action. So that helps a lot because regulation on top of the lobbying, it's such a huge waste of money and everybody else gets to pocket it except for American taxpayers. Launched a nationwide effort to fight the opioid crisis, and already 284 pounds of fentanyl have been seized at the Border Patrol. This is only for year 2018. So 284 pounds of fentanyl. That's really, really a powerful drug. So that's a huge deal for us. It helps us so much. You can't refute that. Let's see. Introduce legislation to buy and hire American. So that's for like companies like U.S. Steel, IBM, GM. So it's like, hey, we'll give you an incentive, you know, or we'll penalize you, put a policy to do something like that if you don't buy and hire American. Um, Work to restore authority to those states and governors who have been hurt by federal government regulations. You don't hear about that. Introduce the bill to fund critical national security needs and improve the war-fighting readiness of our troops. So there was some type of funding bill that was passed, and I can't remember the specific name, but he was able to use a large number of the funds as he chose to re-inject it into the military. So if you don't know anything about the military, we're pretty, they're vastly depleted by the end of Obama's presidency. Promised to restore the federal government's midterm review of the federal fuel efficiency standards that former President Obama canceled. So, don't know why you canceled that, Obama. Wish you wouldn't have. I think that's everybody wants to talk about the environment friendly and these tree huggers are talking about save the world and stuff. I mean, well, there you go. That's something that would benefit the environment, the world. Signed the NASA Transition Authorization Act that establishes a budget of $19.5 billion for NASA, and this is for the current fiscal year. So that's all about, hey, let's get back out in space. All these other countries are doing it. We stopped doing it with, unfortunately, Obama. He's shutting a lot of it down, taking the funding away. So, I'm largely for space exploration. I signed an executive order establishing the President's Commission on combating drug addiction and the opioid crisis. That's a very big deal. Where communities fall, a lot of times there'll be people, I guess, that are addicted to drugs. So, it's not everybody, but I guess it's on a general consensus. If you ever go to a poor neighborhood, you see how people are, and then you ever go to a rich neighborhood, we see there's more of a community. People are more friendly, outgoing. Let's see, secured historic increases in national defense funding, making America stronger and safer for the future. Continue to fight against MS-13 animals, both at home and abroad. That's a very big deal. Signed legislation to bring more accountability to the Department of Veterans Affairs. So they had a really hard time with the health care. It was a terrible, terrible ordeal. The wait times and the quality of the care, and it was like people didn't even care about the veterans. And of all the people, why the veterans? I mean, God, the sacrifice that these men and women have to do, the things that they go through, the amount of trauma. I mean, you got to look out for the veterans. Let's see. Signed an executive order to protect free speech and religious liberties. Began important international talks to end nuclear proliferation. So, it's not only about North Korea. It's the angle is world peace. So, there is pretty much a list. I tried to make it quick. It took about 10 minutes, but there's a list of a lot of the accomplishments that I took note of. If you have any more, cool. If you don't, well, or you have something you disagree with, feel free to share. But like, comment, and subscribe, share the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. So this is why I support Donald Trump. He said a lot of things, and he's trying to keep his promises. So Let's make America great again. God bless. Goodbye.